Hey guys, so in this video we're going to be doing 2-time summons for LF Revival Gohan here. This is pre-recorded stuff that I'm going to be voicing over here. This is just screen recorded, and I'm talking about this post recording. So hope you guys enjoyed the summons. We're going to talk about something not related to the summons though in this video. I want to get your guys' thoughts on the LFs that have released during the 3-year anniversary. So obviously we have the Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, we have the LF merged Zamasu, I guess technically it's called half corrupted fusion Zamasu, and then we have obviously the new Super Saiyan Gohan transforming Revival 1 into Super Saiyan 2 from the BoJack movie. First of all, I want to get your guys' thoughts on a few things. So this is going to be a very interactive video. I'm going to be asking you guys a few questions, and if you guys want to, you can participate in the comments down below by letting me know what your guys' thoughts are what I'm asking you guys. Number one, what are your overall thoughts on the BoJack movie being sort of the second half of the anniversary here? To me, it seems like it's out of place a lot. I have a theory that maybe they had this celebration planned as like a separate celebration, like maybe down the line, maybe it would be like in October or November or something like that. Because as you know, they've been sort of releasing monthly LFs up until, well, actually it's been pretty much since January. They've been doing monthly LFs. So maybe this was, this Gohan was planned for maybe a little bit down the line, and maybe they decided, to push him up to the second half of the anniversary because whatever they were planning on doing for the second half of the anniversary just wasn't ready yet or something, so they changed schedules. To me, it just seems very weird. Like, when they were sitting down to plan out the anniversary, you really think they were like, okay, so Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, followed by Fusion Zamasu. You know what? Let's do the BoJack movie. Do you guys really think that they sat down and talked about it that way? Like, I don't know. How did they come to the conclusion to do the BoJack movie? It just makes like almost no sense to me at all. But we have Gohan here, and then we have Ultra Vegeta. Because for me, I look at Ultra Vegeta, and it's like Ultra Vegeta should technically be like the main unit of the second half of the anniversary. Ultra units are supposed to be super hype. And obviously this Vegeta is more so based around the Frieza saga. So in my mind, I'm like, okay, they're releasing a Vegeta whose Ultra ability is centered around Frieza saga units. Shouldn't they focus on the Frieza saga and release new characters associated with the Frieza saga to complement the Ultra Vegeta? And then instead of doing that, they release BoJack movie. It's like, okay, it's just completely out of left field. But I mean, obviously the BoJack movie is pretty hype. The Gohan from that movie is especially a fan favorite, I think. But on the other hand, you have like BoJack himself, who I would argue is not that popular of a character. It's just, I don't know. It's very strange to me. So again, leave your thoughts down below. Let me know what you guys think of the BoJack movie itself being the second half of the 3-year anniversary. And then what else I want to know in addition to that is, taking into consideration the 3 LFs, Gogeta, Zamasu, and Gohan, what are your guys' thoughts on them? I think they did a pretty good job with Gogeta and Zamasu. I think in terms of their power level, they're pretty good. Well, for Gogeta and Zamasu, I think they're pretty good. Zamasu, to me, is ridiculously oppressive. His green card, his blue card, his main ability doing as much damage as it does, the lock-ins, the type nullification, the vanish restoration, card destruction. He does a lot. And I think one thing that people overlook with Zamasu is they look too much into his ability to tank, and I do think that defense is a very important part of this game right now, especially in the meta that we're in right now. With all the Zenkai units running around, you really have to be able to defend against a lot of these units. But when you have a unit like Zamasu, he very much reminds me of Kid Buu in a way, where he's able to get his Vanish back by playing into his kit, right? Zamasu wants to deal damage, and dealing damage makes your opponent switch. And then making your opponent switch, with the way his kit is designed, makes him get his Vanish back. So I think his kit does play into itself very well, and that sort of makes up for a lot of his shortcomings defensively. Not to say he doesn't get destroyed if you get caught with a combo with him, because he does. But he's, I feel like they designed him really well, and I feel like they didn't make him super, super oppressive to the point where he's not fun to play against. Gogeta, I feel like he's a pretty good all-around unit. The one issue I have with him is he's a defense type unit. That instantly cripples him because of the fact that they, for whatever reason, decide to give lower stats to units that are both defense types and support types. I feel like at this point in the game, they don't need designations like, you know, oh, he's a melee type unit, he's a range type unit, or a support. Like, they don't need those designations anymore. They can just get rid of those. All those designations do is hurt defense types and support type units because they inherently have lower stats than both melee types and range type units. I feel like at this point in the game, we don't need to have those in the game anymore and just have all units be whatever they are, you know, whatever they're designed to be. Because you know, at some point you run into these very wonky units who technically, like UI Goku is a ranged unit. He should not be a ranged unit. I believe he has higher strike attack than blast attack. So it's like, what part of his kit makes him a ranged type unit? You tell me. The fact that he's, you know, sitting back and letting his unique gauge like dodge attack, is that what makes him a ranged type unit? Seems a little bit weird to me. So at this point I feel like we need to get rid of those designations. And that would have helped Gogeta more because he's, you know, his offensive stats are definitely gimped because of the fact that he's a defense type. I don't know. It feels to me like, you know, they released Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta to help out GT, but people are just going to be running him on like Saiyans and Fusion Warriors over GT, which is something I've been talking about for a while, and we knew this was going to happen when they released a unit like this because, you know, GT is supposed to be the main focus of the anniversary. They released all these Zenkais for GT leading up to it. And then we get to the actual main unit, and it's like, okay, he's cool on GT, but he's just better on Fusion Warriors, and he's better on the Saiyan team. Because he buffs both those attacks with the Z ability as well. It's like they didn't even, like, care about it. They should have given him some kind of, like, special buffs that he gave to the tag with other... Like, if you use him... Let's just, for example, you use him with 2 other GT battle members, he gets an additional 50% damage inflicted, or... he's like gives allies permanent damage reduction or something like that. That would have been really cool and a good way to make him feel unique and valuable specifically for the GT team. But it's like, what incentive do you have to run him on that team over just like a Saiyan team, which there's none. So that is one thing that I have in terms of criticism for them. But then we get to Gohan, right? Gohan, I feel like people looked at his initial kit and they were very overwhelmed by what he was able to do and what was written down on paper for him. So I've used him for a little bit. I will say right now that I haven't used him enough to really give an accurate representation of, you know, oh, I feel like he's, you know, the 5th best unit in the game, or the 3rd best unit in the game, or whatever it is. I don't really have that much experience with him yet to really make a definitive conclusion about where I think he actually places and how good he actually is, because I just need more time with him before I can say that. But to me, Gohan feels like a unit that is designed in a way where he should have been the main unit. Like, I feel like Gogeta's kit probably should have just been Gohan's kit as the headlining unit, because what Gohan's kit is it's very easy for people to use. It's a very beginner-friendly kit that unit has. There's nothing in Gohan's kit that's like, oh, it takes a lot of skill to make sure that this happens, or, you know, it's difficult to execute this. Whereas with, like, Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, like, people make fun of blast armor, but blast armor, like, takes skill to use. Like, there are different maneuvers you can do with blast armor, like armor canceling, knowing if your opponent can play around armor canceling, and then, like, using, you know, that information against them to sort of get the upper hand. There are ways you can use blast armor to your advantage that isn't just, oh, you know, click the red card when your opponent uses a yellow card. Like, there's more to it than that. His blue card giving you a blue card, his main ability giving you card draw speed as well as type nullification for a certain period of time. All of those things, I feel like, do require you to understand the basics of the game and have a firm grasp on how, like, the flow of battle works with his teams and how Gogeta works too. So I feel like, you know, as a unit designed for the majority of the player base of this game, Gogeta is much, much more difficult to use than the Gohan is. And because of that, I feel like Gogeta should have had a much more easy-to-use kit than Gohan does. And I feel like the reason why people are using this Gohan and feeling, oh my god, he's so ridiculously overpowered, is because he's so easy to use, right? You just get keyback whenever you use a card, he gets more damage whenever he uses a card, his green card is, like, so easy to land because it's an AoE card. He has revival, so you can just throw him into a rush and not have to worry about, you know, playing around the Rising Rush specifically with him on your team. So there's a lot of different ways that you can use this Gohan and not necessarily be like, oh, a technical expert or master at the game to use him to his full potential. So I feel like that's sort of the way I can compare Gohan to Zamasu and Gogeta. But again, in terms of, like, power level, I don't really know who is the best. I am just going off of a limb and saying I think Zamasu is the best right now, but Gohan is definitely right up there with him, and then Gogeta maybe is a little bit behind both of them. But Again, let me know down below what you guys think about this Gohan compared to the Gogeta and Zamasu. I think the popular opinion right now is that Gohan is the best, and if you think that, that's completely fine. I don't really have anything to rebuttal against that. And I just want to know your guys' thoughts on, do you think that they did this Gohan justice? Do you think that Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta maybe should have been a little bit stronger? Do you guys feel like Zamasu should have been a little bit stronger? And what are your thoughts on the overall BoJack movie being like the theme of the second half of the anniversary here? To me, it seems a little bit weird, and I don't really know where they were coming from with that idea, but that's pretty much what I wanted to discuss here with you guys. So let me know down below in the comments what your guys' thoughts are on what we just discussed. And I will leave you guys to watch the rest of the summons. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you all in the next one.
Gohan